Hello Creative, welcome to another edition of today's tutorial with the Magic Maker. No time to waste today, let's make magic. In today's video, we're going to be looking at Adobe Color. So basically for all of the creative out there, if you have been having issues selecting colors, if you have been having issues, combining and just using nice color palettes, Adobe Color is going to help you solve all of the problem. So what we're going to be doing in today's tutorial is we're going to be looking at how to use Adobe Color to step up your graphics design to the next level. So let's get it started and let's make magic. Looking at what you have on your screen, when you open the page, it's just very easy. All you just have to do is visit Google and just type adobecolor.com. So I'm just going to do that again. Adobe Color, enter, as easy as that. Then the next thing I'm also going to do is just click there, Adobe Color. And right there on your screen, you see that there are various features here. And what we're going to do is we'll explore it from start to bottom, or from top to bottom, or from start to the end, okay? So starting with the analogous section, from what you have here, this is a very nice color palette, by the way. And for you to actually understand the significance of Adobe Color, I'm going to show you the color palette I used with Adobe Color and how it actually stepped up my design to the next level. So if we check my IG page, and you look at what I have here, you're going to see that, okay, the colors I was using before were sort of dull, they were not really that bright. And let's just preview one. When you switch this way, you see it is okay, I tell stories, and telling stories is one of the ways you can actually step up your game as a content creator, or as a filmmaker. But look at when I started using Adobe Color. Just have a look at what we have here. So you see that the color is really nice. So what we are going to be doing is we are going to be looking at how this is actually going to help you become a better filmmaker or a better visual designer in total. So I'm just going to come here. And since I'm not drawing, I'm just going to drop the stylus and I'm going to use my mouse. Okay, so what you can just do here is in the analogous section, you can just play around until you feel you have something that's usable. But then you'll be like, I can't just be picking random colors now. And how are you going to actually know that the colors are useful? So let's say you've played around and you like the color you're seeing. What you can do is you could copy all of the hexadecimal color codes that you have here. So I'm just going to Ctrl V. So you just do that for everything. And you definitely know that in your Photoshop, let me create a new file. So in your Photoshop, let's say we create a new file and we just add a solid color, or let's just use white. Now you'll be saying, how can you use the hexadecimal color coding? All I just have to do is use a square. U for shapes, I'll just draw a square. Okay? Then once I click on my foreground color, I can paste the hexadecimal color coding from Adobe Color. Enter. Then, okay, it is stored there. I just have to go to the fill and select the color. So this is just one way you can use it. Another thing is you can save it to your library. So once you've signed it to your account, you just have to click on save and you visit the libraries. So you should be updating to 2 now. So now I have 2 themes. Right, you see, so these are the 2 themes I've used so far, and this is just the analogous section. So you could just play around, and let's check the monochromatic section. So the monochromatic definitely tells you that all of the color are just from one. It's just the tone and the shade that you are reducing. So mono just means one. So that's monochromatic, and what you can also do is you could just move around. So if you just want a color theme from yellow, from orange, you could use just monochromatic. You have the Triad section. So this is Triad definitely for 3. And you can just play around them, and whenever you find any color palette that you like, you can save them. You have Complementary as well. If you want to be using opposite colors, especially for those who are into branding, using complementary color is one of the things you can use for logo design to sort of show that the color always works, and it's also a way to improve your color palette. Split Complementary is another one. So you can just play around until you find something that works. And you can save all of this. One thing about color palette is you never really know the one that works until you try it. So we're still going to look at how to test. We're still going to look at how to actually test all of these colors to be able to confirm that they work. You have the square section as well. So if you want to be working with 4 colors, you see that the proportion at which they are distant from each other is even all true. except you now want to mess with it, okay? So see that it's still very much even. So square, you also have the compound colors. And looking at the section that we have here, there are a lot of color modes, but let's see what we have here. You have the RGB, you have the HSB, and you have the LAB. So I'm not saying CMYK here. However, we know that in Photoshop, if you are done with any design, you can easily come to image, mode, and you can just convert to CMYK. You just merge everything, okay, and this is the same color in CMYK color mode. Alright, so this is the compound section. You can just move around, compound colors and all of that. You also have the shades. So a shade of blue, a shade of any color that you want, any color at all. You have the custom section. So the custom section is just where you can define what you want. You can create your own color palette from scratch without having to use Illustrator or Photoshop or things like that. You can just do that. And if you want to design using the color mode HSB, you could just change it here so that you have the exact hexadecimal color code that will step up your design to the next level. Because what you want to do is you want to be a very good magic maker. You can't be a wonderful magic maker with bad color or color that sucks. It won't help you. Okay? So this is for the color mode. Then you have the extract theme section. For the extract theme section, what it actually does is you could drag an image in, and I mentioned that Adobe Color actually stepped up my design to the next level. So if I move around here now, you see I just love the color. I'm just using 3 colors here, that shade of lemon, blue, and just white, and you see how amazing the designs are. It's really, really good. Now what I can do is I can just pick a particular image, drag it here, and it is going to just sample it and pick a color palette for me. So in case there are creatives out there that actually love their design thing, what you can just do is take a screen grab of their picture, drop it here, and it's going to extract the color palette for you, and you are ready to use it. Another way to extract color palette, which is quite stressful, is when you drag it into Photoshop and you actually use your eyedropper tool to sample it, okay? So I'm going to revert this because of the CMYK mode. Drag the image back in. But it can be very stressful. I'm going to use this square, just reduce it. So I'm just going to save it as like my color palette boxes, okay? So Alt, click and drag. Alt, click and drag like that. So what I'm just going to do is eyedropper tool. I'm going to sample the first color. I'll tap X on my keyboard, sample another color. So what I can just do is I'll come to my square and I can use eyedropper tool to sample this color just to be sure. Then this one, so come to fill, click on the color thumbnail there and eyedropper to sample the next color. Then you can go on like that. For this one, I can just come in, fill, then just sample color here. Okay, you see. So you can also extract your theme just that way, or you could also use Adobe Color. So anyone that just tickles your fancy, you can see that, and you can also drag it around. And when you're done, you can save it as your theme. So once I save it now, it is going to be added to my libraries, okay? So my libraries. Going back to the create section, another thing we can look at is extract gradients. So now, for you that wants to work with gradients, I'll drag in another picture. You see it. So this gives you, like, life is just easy. Why do you have to go the hard way if you can just do it the easy way? It is very important for you to understand the rudimentary, the basics, so that your knowledge is very much solidified. At the same time, knowing easier way to get things done can increase your productivity, boom, to the next level. So accessibility tools. Now, this is the main game. This is where you can actually identify if the color palette is going to really help you, or if the color palette is useful, by identifying the readability feature. So now, from what we have here, let's say there's a color that I want. I can just put the color in there, and it is going to analyze it to pass it for me if it is a pass or fail. So looking at this, what we have here now, it is a fail. So let's play with different shades. Can you see that it is a total fail? You can't work with this color combination. So for you guys out there that you do branding, you're a graphics designer, UI, UX designer, any type of graphics designer that you are out of all of the 8 or is in or is it 10, whichever one it is, you could just use this to also check your readability feature, and you could play around like that with different colors. So if you want to work with white, let me just click on that. Right now, you can see I have a pass, I have a pass, I have a pass. Save to libraries, that is another way. Okay, so you could also import your colors, still the same thing. Let me drag in this file. So let's see, it has analyzed and brought out the major colors for me. Then you can also move it around, you know. Life is just really, really, really that easy. Then you also have the explore section. So it is in the explore section. That's when you can see other color palettes by other creatives that have been uploaded in the Adobe section. You know, it's just like your explore page on Instagram where you can see different works of different artists. So you can see the color theme and you can see where it is extracted from and what you can do with it. Okay, so this is just beautiful, you know. You can add it to your library, you can download as JPEG. So imagine I want to change my color palette for my next sort of write-ups that I'm going to be posting on Rocket Robot, right? I can just come here and get any color palette and just use it, and life is good. Okay? Life is good. So this is another way. This is another way. Trends. What is trending? So these are the things that are trending currently. You can see this fashion. You have that die-done sort of font there. You have, this is just fashion. Yeah, it is fashion. That's why everything is looking like this. You have this retouch picture. I like that photo manipulation. I like this double exposure. This is beautiful. So you have the explore page, you know, graphic design, illustration. So this will really, really step up your work to the next level. Trust me, straight up, through the roof. So don't forget, the reason why we are having this, or the reason why this is possible, is because we are shooting at the base of active leaders online. So don't forget to like and subscribe to their channel and follow them on the social media platforms on your screen. Don't also forget to follow me on my social media. I know I have a lot of social media, but trust me, I am taking my time to build them and it is going to make sense in the future. So hit the like button, subscribe, share, recommend this channel. I will love you guys so much, okay? And that'll be all for this video. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye.